All right. Welcome, everyone. This is Yoga Meridian Flow, and I'm Ellie Morrison. I'm just glad you're here joining for practice today. We're going to be focusing on opening up this area here just underneath the collarbones so we can get the chest a little more open. And this speaks to the pathway of the lung. And the lung is the area of the body that once it begins to open up, once this pathway opens up, it actually creates a governing or an overseeing type relationship to the growth that happens in spring, which is manifested and kind of embodied by a lot of the side bending work that we've been doing. So just to repeat, opening the lungs, which is metal element, helps to govern opening up the side of the body, which is the wood element. So we're going to bring this into our practice. So close your eyes for centering. Place your hands somewhere comfortable. And deep inside of you, find that vertical line, that internal core to who you are. It's filled with truth, wisdom, and light. And begin to expand your breath three-dimensionally around this internal core. That means each inhale will become much more full as the inner body fills with light. Perhaps the exhale just falls away as a satisfying exhale, a satisfying sigh, a sense of release. So 2 more full and deep breaths like this, incrementally lengthening the inhale and each exhale. Now another deep breath in for Om. Om is the deepest and oldest creative sound of the matter and of the universe. And at the heart of it is this incredible energy, the ultimate in intelligence, the ultimate in compassion and love, to which we yearn to connect. Take a deep breath in, exhale with a sigh, and then just bow your head downward towards the heart center as you bring your hands towards your forehead. Release your hands and lift your gaze, and now open your eyes. Okay, we'll start in a standing position. So come onto your feet and onto your mat. Bring your hands together at your heart as you stand with your feet parallel to one another. Pause and allow your breath to open up to the grace of this bigger energy that's moving through your life, both within you and around you. Then inhale and stretch your arms up, expanding and lengthening, reaching into the feet as well. Then fold forward and touch your mat. Step both feet back, and you'll lower to your knees, your chest, and your chin. Just the point of the chin. Pause for a moment so you feel that heaviness on either lung. Now, inhale for low cobra. Pelvis is down, stretch back through the feet, and straighten the legs. Then downward facing dog, so that you push back and drop your head. And breathe deeply and feel that rhythmic and pulsing movement of your diaphragm. Spread your fingers and toes. And fill the whole body with prana, the light of prana, to the tips of the fingers and the tips of the toes. Now look forward and just walk your feet and come to that top part of your mat where you'll halfway lift, stretching your heart forward. Then bow forward and rise up to standing. Stretch your arms up. And if you like, lean back into a little bit of an arch and then take your hands to your heart. Again, inhale, stretch up. Reach up as you ground yourself into the moment, down into the feet, and then reaching up for something more. Then forward fold and touch your mat. Step both feet back, and you'll lower to your knees, your chest and point of your chin just for a moment. Just feel that pressure. Then inhale, lower medium cobra. Pelvis is down. Stretch back into strong and straight legs. Press into the hands and squeeze the whole back part of the body. Then downward facing dog. Drop your head. Remind yourself from internally, this right lung is supporting the structure of your right shoulder. And the left lung is supporting the structure of the left shoulder. And from the base of the heart, from deep below the chest, below the bust, at the back of the heart, stretch into strong arms, push your hands down and forward. Now look forward and walk and come to the top of your mat where you'll halfway lift. Exhale, bow, and inhale to rise up with a little arch at the top. So just lean back, strong legs, and hands to the heart. We'll do one more. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale and bow. Both feet back, and then lower to the knees. The chest and the point of the chin. Gets easier each round. Now, inhale for medium or high cobra this round, or if it even feels better for upward facing dog, lift your knees up. Keep the legs firm and strong. Squeeze the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, and the buttocks all the way down to the toes. Then downward facing dog, press back, drop your head. Now tone the legs, spreading the toes, hooking the energy of the inner heels towards one another, and try widening the thighs at their source. And steer the tailbone down towards the heels as you press into the hands and you lengthen from the base of your heart to the hands. You lengthen from the base of your heart to the hips, and then root that tailbone down towards the heels. Now, bend your knees, pause, look forward, and try lifting the thigh bones and the sit bones high into the air, and then a couple of squeezes on the pelvic floor so you can feel where that aspect of the inner body is. Then you'll hop or walk to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, stretch your heart forward. Exhale, fold, and come up to standing. Arms up, if you like, a little back arch, and hands to the heart. Okay, we'll wake up the meridian lines. We start with the tops of the feet. So you'll bring your hands tops of the feet. This is a slapping motion. Then we come up the front of the shins. Make sure you're on the soft tissue, not on the bone itself. Then you can transition to fists on the thighs. We're coming straight up the thighs. This is the stomach meridian. Has to do with digestion and worry. So, and then you'll bring your hands a little to the inside, not on the pubic bone, just to either side, a little bit lighter. And then a flat hand as you tone the belly. So you want a nice toned belly. Walk your hands up, up, up. All the way up the chest. And you'll use your fingertips just behind your collarbones here. You're reaching just behind into that little space. This is stomach 12. Has to do with digestion. Now you'll come up the big muscles at the front of the neck, under the jaw, all around the jaw. Just be creative here. Work all around the jaw, underneath your cheekbones, onto your cheekbones, and underneath eyes. This is stomach 1, and this is the pathway. And then reverse your steps. Coming down the neck, behind the collarbones, top of the chest. Work your way down, ribs, lower ribs, strong abs. front of the hip joints, and then onto your quadriceps, down the thighs, fronts of the shins, tops of the feet, and squeeze your second toe. This is stomach. Now for gallbladder, the side of the legs, start behind the ankles. Come up the side of your shins. And onto your IT band. You can use fists here. Try to pound on each aspect of it. Then you'll come just above this bony part and you'll work on these strong postural muscles. You can use a little more force here. Now, side of the waistline, keep your obliques toned. Up the ribs and transition to your knuckles. You can work underneath the bust or the chest. You can work to the side and up towards your armpits. Now for the top of the shoulders, you'll reach across. It's so good for the immune system. Helps release energy that's rising up the body and allow it to be more grounded and reaching down. Now we'll do the side of the neck. Use your fingertips. Come up to the space that's behind the ears. You'll feel the bone of the cranial base and you'll wrap around the top of the ears onto the temples, all the way to the corners of the ears. Now remember, this is gallbladder. It may be really tender. This has to do with stress. Now, reverse your steps, coming down the edges of the neck, coming to the top of the shoulders, and work your way from the corner of the neck out to the end of the shoulder. Now, back to knuckles on your ribs. You can work underneath and to the side. Obliques, side of your hips. IT band as you work your way back down to your starting point. The outer ankles. You'll grab your fourth toe. This is gallbladder. Now, this last one at the back, start with the Achilles. We're gonna walk our way up the back of the calf. This is a formidable muscular structure here at the back of the calf. Do your best here. Then a light hand on the back of the knee. And then fists as you work on your hamstrings, reaching up as high as you can. Now come up to standing so we can work on the buttocks. All around the buttock tissue, from the side of your body, back towards the sacrum, down low towards the coccyx, and then directly on the sacrum. From there, up into the lumbar area. So you want to be on the muscle tissue. Now come all the way up, reach as high as you can, into the floating ribs. And then we'll do the upper back. And then fingers on either side of the cervical spine. As you walk your way up, you find your cranial base, back of the head. Continue with the pathway. It comes all the way into the face. So you'll go across the crown of the head, down the forehead, eyebrows, into the corners of the eyes. Now reverse. Up. This pathway has to do with fear and the shock that comes in the body. Now reach back. Kidneys and adrenals. These get depleted, so we do want to stimulate blood flow, lymphatic flow, energy flow here. Lumbar area. Tailbone. Buttock area. hamstrings. So bend over, reach up as high as you can for the top of the hamstrings. Keep working your way down. Now a hand on the back of the knee and fists to the back of the calf, all the way down to your baby toe. This is the urinary bladder pathway. And now inhale, come up to standing. Okay, place your fingers together. And now inhale, stretch your arms up, and you're going to bend them so the fingers are pointing down towards the feet. Stretch up into the heart. Stretch the arms up overhead. Squeeze your legs to the middle. Root your tailbone down, and now just gently, slowly arching the back, keeping the legs strong, which is what governs ultimately your ability to back bend, is the strength and the power of the legs. And so the strength and the power of the legs, rooting into them, reaching up through the heart, is what gives you the ability to arch the back. So if you can feel this pathway opening up from the second toe, up the legs, through the hip joints, up the torso, all the way up into the face. Now inhale, lift through the heart to come up, and exhale as you forward fold, giving yourself a big hug into your legs. Maybe you can bring your face even towards your shins, stretching the whole spinal cord. Now inhale and halfway lift and look forward. And place your hands underneath your feet. You may have to bend your knees for this, but basically the sole of your feet is going to match the palms of your hands. So this is going to lift up the forefoot. You still got the heel on the sticky mat. It's going to be a deeper stretch for the calf. And again, opens up that whole back body. So breathe. You may feel the sensation, the burn of the stretch into your feet, your ankles or calves, perhaps even hamstring. And this can be easily done with bent knees. Now carefully release. Place your hands on your hips and inhale and rise up. Take your hands into your heart again. And now stretch both arms up. You're going to reach with your right hand over and grab this left elbow with legs together. Inhale, you'll lift up through the heart as you root into the feet, and then side bend to your right. Push your hips to the left. Push your outer left thigh bone to the left so that you can stretch into the side body. Draw your navel back to your spine so you feel the lower belly and the upper belly engage. And see if you can go down a little bit further. And then to come out of this, push into the feet, lift through the heart as you inhale. And we'll do side two. So you're going to reach with your left hand around behind the head so you can grab your right elbow. Inhale, lift up as you lengthen. And now exhale, just a little side bend. Don't go too far. Oftentimes we hold our breath when we come into a pose like this. So see if you can find the movement of the breath to release tension, any anxiety you might have, and then connect to your deeper wisdom and strength here. Root down into your feet and your legs, belly into spine. See if you can go a little bit further, just a tiny bit. And then inhale, lift through the heart to come up and release. Bring your hands to your heart once again. Now inhale and stretch your arms up, lean back. See if you can open up even more. Exhale and bow forward, touch your mat. Step both feet back to downward facing dog. Draw your legs together. Inhale, plank pose. Now, strong belly, just like earlier when we were pounding and slapping on the pathways, lower ribs in. Now, shoulders back and look forward. Feel your strength, reaching down into your legs. Exhale, lower through chaturanga. Inhale for upward facing dog. Squeeze your buttocks. And exhale, down dog. Bend your knees in down dog, look forward. Lift your tail and tone your pelvic floor. Now, step or hop to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Exhale and fold and walk your feet together so your big toes are touching. Bend your knees as deeply as you can first thing in the morning. Stretch your arms forward and keep the weight towards the balls of the feet. Reach back through the heels, but keep that sensitivity and power in the balls of the feet. If it works for you, you can lace your fingers together. Point your hands so they're going back down, the back behind you. Hollow out your armpits and now stretch your arms as you try to lift up through your shoulder girdles and your heart. You can lift your gaze. Come all the way up to standing. Lean back. And hands to the heart. Okay. So now get your block, because I'm going to show you something we can do at the wall to open up the chest before we go further. We're going to work on these lung points. We're going to be working just below the clavicle. But as you know where this big pectoral muscle is here, we're going to be using one of the edges of the block to push into this part of the pec, and then we're going to slowly turn and mobilize the arm. So I'll show you what this looks like at the wall. So when I place the block on the wall, just like this, I'll turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to place this bottom edge into the meaty part of my pec. So I'm going to position it. And then at this point, you'll see me go hands free. Okay, so this is a lot of pressure. You can turn a little bit through the chest. You can mobilize the arm. You can lift the arm up. And you can always turn the block. So this is a deep pressure. I'm in a little bit of a lunge in my legs. And then I'm pushing. So I get this massage into lung 1, maybe lung 2, but definitely all around the pec area. And it may feel really sore. Okay. Now, inhale, come up. We'll do side 2. So just so you guys can see, this edge of the block, I'm fitting it into the meaty part of my pec. I'm above the nipple area of the chest. Okay, so the block goes on the wall. I'm going to lean in towards it. Now, if it works for you, you'll be able to go hands-free, but if this is new and you don't get massage in this area, it can be really tender. Your pec muscle is a very thin muscle. So just start to mobilize this right arm. You can spin, you can lift. I want this to be kind of a creative expression and exploration for you. So you might internally rotate and externally rotate the arm, or you might slowly move it out in the side plane. In any case, as you move the arm, it's going to change the angle of the pressure into these deeper fibers of the chest. So we're both affecting pericardium area, which is that which protects the heart. And the pericardium has shared tissue with the lungs, right? It's a continuous web of fascia tissue. So move the arm in a free-form way, all the while you're leaning. And then inhale as you release. Whew. That can be really sore, and you're going to set the block off to the side. Okay, so this is going to increase your ability to bring your arms over your head. So you'll lace your fingers together, bring them up over your head, point the fingertips down. We just did this. Feet together for chair pose in the legs, so bend the knees. Your top of their shins move forward. The top of your thighs are going to move back. The base of your heels are going to root back. Now try to hollow out your armpits here and stretch your arms up. If you like, you can look up. Try to pull your hands apart at the same time your fingers are squeezing and pulling the hands together, straightening the arms, rooting into the feet, and then lifting up through the heart. Now, exhale and fold and touch your mat. Halfway lift and look forward, and step or hop back to plank or chaturanga. Inhale for upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. Left leg up in the air. Circle your ankle and feel a long line of internal connection from your left shoulder through your left lung, your stomach, your lower intestine, and your left hip. Now look forward and step it through. Warrior one, you're going to spin your back heel down. Bring your hands together perhaps. You can do this exercise we've been doing all morning, which hands point down, armpits hollow, and arms stretch up. And sit low into the front knee as is appropriate for you. Now rise up, turn to the side and widen your feet, warrior two. Turn your gaze. Bend at the elbows now with your palms facing out. And push the walls away, spreading your fingers. Try to hollow out the armpits. Expand the heart center. What's below the heart? Deep inside, this in center line, this central channel down to the pelvic floor. And what's above the heart is this central channel to the crown of the head. Now reverse your warrior two. You move your back hand down your leg, stretch your top arm by your ear, opening up the side of the body. Now inhale to rise up, and you're going to walk your back foot in a little bit so you can angle it for humble warrior. Clasp your hands behind you. Inhale, lift through the chest, lift up through the low belly. Now lean forward, heart forward. To go further, pull the belly in, particularly the lower ribs, and drop the head down. Squeeze your hands together. At the same time, you try to broaden your shoulders. Breathing into the back of the heart. Now, release and bring your hands to the ground. Lift your back heel in the air. Stretch your right arm up with an inhale and then elbow across for the twist. Move slowly here. So elbow outside the left knee. Maybe hands come to the heart. Maybe your back foot needs to walk in a little bit. Maybe you need to put the back knee down for better support. Particularly if you're on carpet, it can be really wobbly. So don't blame your body. It's the carpet oftentimes. So twisting. Okay, everyone, down dog, hands down and step back. Legs together for plank pose. Legs just as strong as lower and upper belly are, drawing in. Heart soft, lungs are soft. Look forward. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog, push back. Okay, big toes touch. Right leg up. Circle your ankle. Now connect to this line of connection inside. From your right shoulder into the right lung. From your right lung into liver and gallbladder. And into the lower belly and intestine. Deep within and just above your right hip bone. The right hip joint. Now look forward and swing it through. Back heel down, we're coming up for warrior one. Hands to the heart, arms and elbows up. Hands point down the back of the upper back. Root into the feet. Press them down strongly, and now inhale, lift through the heart simultaneously. We did this good work in down dog. So it's a very decisive feeling. This is very much the lung energy. Some energy has to go down, some is rising up, and there's a clear line of delineation. Now lift up, turn to the side. Warrior two, you can spread your feet wider. Bend at the elbows. Push the walls of limitations away. Spread your fingers. Reach through the center of the palm. Hollow at the armpits. Breathe smoothly. Gaze is fixed and steady. Now reverse. Inhale to rise. Link your fingers together. Walk your back foot in, angle it. Inhale, stretch up. Belly up as you lean forward. Now belly in deeply. Coming into humble warrior. Drop your head. Think of simultaneously squeezing your hands together and then widening your upper shoulders apart. Stay with it, 2 more breaths. Good. Now hands down, spin your back heel up. We'll lift the left arm up. Take a breath in and twist, elbow across. Hands to the heart. Now gaze steady. With this posture, you can achieve that steady gaze by looking down beyond the toes. Top hand presses. Belly in. Try to turn deeply within the lower belly, the ribs, and the chest. You always put the back knee down for that extra level of support. Now, down dog, everyone. Hands down, step back. Inhale, plank pose. Little bend in the first knuckles can really help keep the hands and the wrists strong here. Lower belly in, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog, push back. Now from here, take a deep breath in, stick your tongue out, make a nice ugly face as you exhale, lion's breath. Once again, nice deep breath in, stick out your tongue. Helps release the diaphragm, releasing stale energy and air from the depths of the lungs. Okay, come forward again to plank and lower the belly and rest. Stretch your legs out behind you, your arms out behind you as well. Back of the hands on the floor, active hands and wrists, active feet. Inhale for locust, squeeze your upper back. Squeeze your middle back, your lower back. Squeeze your buttocks and steer your tailbone down towards your feet. And perhaps you even want to lift your feet. Perhaps you want to lift your hands. This is fine too. And then exhale and release. Okay, a little faster. Inhale and lift. And exhale and lower. 2 more times. Inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. Once more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now come onto your elbows. Bend that right knee and reach back with your hand for your foot for half frog. You can turn your toes under on your left foot and lift the kneecap up. And this may help you level the front of the pelvis. That's a little more flush. Try squeezing the knees towards one another. They don't have to touch, but you do want the thighs parallel, and that can help. Now move the upper palate of your mouth back and move your upper back in towards the back of the heart. Squeeze your buttocks. Now release. We'll do side two. This is Ardha Bakasana. It's a powerful and potent posture first thing in the morning, not only for breath, but also for digestion. Now you can tuck your toes under on this right leg, kneecaps up, legs energetically squeezing towards one another, what you might call isometrically squeezing towards one another. Now just gently glide your upper palate of your mouth back, the upper back in towards the heart, lower back in, navel in, and then buttocks squeeze. As you root the tailbone down, simultaneously lift through the heart. All right, now release. I'm going to stretch out the throat. Place your hands like you would for Cobra. Put the point of your chin down. Now turn your toes under like we just had them and slowly lift your buttocks up in the air. Keep walking your knees in for a deep throat stretch. Eventually, the base of the throat may touch the floor. Press the chin down so you keep some tone in the neck at the same time you're stretching. And if it feels right for you, you can actually reach behind you, link your fingers together, straighten and or lift the arms. You're gonna be here for 3 rounds of breath. Now carefully release and inhale for upward facing dog and back to down dog. Turn your toes under. Now look forward, bend your knees, tone the pelvic floor and hop to the front of the mat. Come down deeply into a squat position. Take a seat for boat pose. Draw your legs together. Balancing on your sacrum with either straight legs or a bent leg. And you can also, I love this variation, you can place your hands behind your thighs if you need some support. You can lace them together. All right, strong in the core, there it is. Now lean back, use your hands to help you here. You can slide them up, balance on your sacrum. Keep your feet as high as your gaze. Lean back. Now keep leaning back until you come onto your back and you bring your legs up in the air. Press your head back to the floor to release any tension in the neck. And now lower the right leg down and up 5 times. Bring your fingertips to your belly. Make sure you're maintaining some core strength and stability. Your lower ribs are pressing back. Your obliques are toned. Rectus abdominis is toned. Now 5 on the left. Left leg down and up. The leg is relaxed. The core is maintaining the stability while the leg is moving freely. I got 1 more. Now both legs up, we're going to bend the knees and do what I call a tick-tock in the heels. So I'm going to tick-tock the heels back and forth. And if you were to bring your fingertips to the edges of your waistline, you should feel that there's some tone in the obliques. And if not, really use your hands to try to push your lower ribs down towards the floor and see if you can engage those internal obliques. So just back and forth, a little swivel. It's a little swivel in the hips. Stay with it. 2 more. And 1 more. Okay, legs up at center. Now, what can be fun is just to bring your hands behind you so that you can kind of kick and rock yourself back up to boat. See if that comes a little bit easier. Bring your fingertips down, take a deep breath in, and then exhale. Bring your head towards your knees, and then cross your ankles and come forward in a table position. Okay, so let's get upside down this morning. We're gonna do forearm balance. You can use the wall. If you still have wall nearby, you can do it in the middle of the room. Otherwise, dolphin pose this morning, which is born from elbows down and fingers laced together, and a softening that comes into the back of the heart, right in the upper back area. So that piece moves inward so that your shoulder blades start to draw towards one another. Then what you can do is intentionally move your belly away from the floor. Intentionally lift the lower part of the ribs while you continue to soften through the heart and the lungs. From there, you turn your toes under, lift your kneecaps up. You're in dolphin posture. You can take your gaze forward to look to your thumbs. If you want to kick upside down, you can kick legs upside down. If you want to work on the strength needed for that, just bring your chin forward towards your thumbs and back 3 times. Then you can practice lifting a leg in the air. And then if you feel like it, you can practice kicking up. From practice, kicking comes eventual success in balance. Now release and come to child's pose. Stretch your arms forward. Drop your head. Slowly lift up and press yourself back to downward dog. Knees up. Drop your head. Stretch your left leg up in the air behind you once again. Now bend your knee this round and reach it over. Bring it back to center and straighten the leg. Draw your lower ribs in, look forward. Put your right fingertips on the floor. Keep drawing your ribs in. See if you can bring your right hand off the floor. All right. Now, left knee forward for pigeon. We'll do a lifted version of pigeon, which if you're feeling tired this morning or tired for this practice, then please come forward and rest. Otherwise, settle yourself. Think of softening the top of the shoulders so that the energy will settle down into the hips, letting you feel more grounded and spread out. Exhale deeply. Now walk your hands around to the right and then walk them forward. Now you can come down. This will give you that twist in the hip that's almost deeper than maybe the regular pigeon, but it really speaks to the energy of spring in addressing the side of the body. You may find your heel winds up kind of touching somewhere along the abdomen. This is correct. Stimulating digestion and stimulating the release of the gallbladder. Two more breaths here. Okay, slowly come in. See if you can square your torso off at the front of your mat. Push onto your front knee. Move your shoulders back. Move the upper palate of your mouth back. Stretch up through the chin. Beautiful. Now down dog again. Okay, feet together and right leg up. The difference being you're going to bend your knee this time and really reach it over. Stretches stomach. Now bring the leg back to neutral. Nice straight leg, look forward. Lift only your left hand so it comes onto the finger pads. Your right palm is still flat. Now draw your lower ribs in, squeeze your legs towards the midline, and practice maybe getting the left hand light off the floor. You can lift the hand. All right, right knee forward, pigeon. Lower down. Okay, take a few moments here, see if you can stay in this lifted variation onto your fingertips. You could also use blocks here. Now with every exhale, you want to settle. There's both a requisite squeezing of the knees together to keep that tone that we need, the integrity that we need in the pelvis and in the pelvic basin, but there's also a distinct softening that needs to happen on the outer part of the hips so that the energy does flow downward, not to bring us down, but to intentionally to lower levels of anxiety and stress. It's really important. Now, from this position, you're going to walk your hands, your fingertips around to the left, walk them straight forward, and now drape your torso now over your right heel. Now you come into this twisted version of pigeon. Keep relaxing the outer hips. Tone the pelvic floor if you like. Maybe you feel the pelvic floor with each exhale, you're able to tone it. Two more breaths. Now slowly walk your hands in and slowly swivel the torso so you're facing the front. Maybe you can bring a hand on the front knee, hand on the ankle. Now settle into the hips. Draw your shoulder blades back. That moves the back of the heart forward. From this settled place, lift up through the heart. Move the upper palate of your mouth back and perhaps even lift the chin as well. Upper palate and mouth continue to move back even as you stretch up through the chin. Stretching the whole throat, upper back, chest. And release. Come onto your belly. Chin down. Knees bend. Hands to feet. Bow pose is next. Now use your legs for the power. The legs are always the power for back bending positions. So kick your feet into your hands and with straight arms. You want to feel those muscles in the arms straightening. You're going to spin your bicep muscles outward. You can keep your pelvis down. This is going to bring you so far, okay? Move the upper palate of your mouth back and tape your upper back inward towards the base and the back of the heart. Now, from here, all the good stuff you learned about back bends, you're going to squeeze your buttocks like you're squeezing your tailbone and lift your knees up off the floor as you continue to kick into your hands. Now, with your arms here, feel that deep fascial stretch into your ribs. Pretend that your hands and your arms were strong enough to lift your feet even higher as you continue to kick with your legs. And exhale, release. And release your feet. Press into your hands and come up for table pose. Walk your knees forward and take a seat on your knees. Okay, hands back behind you. This is okay with your knees. It can be really good for stretching out through the quads, but settling everything down. Press your hands down, lift your heart. This is called the reclining thunderbolt. Now inhale to come up and sit to your left so that hopefully you feel a stretch on your left-hand side. Reach both hands across for the opposite shin and stretch into the side of the body. You can even drop your head down towards the floor, the crown of the head down. Two more breaths. Now inhale and lift up, and you'll cross your right leg over that left knee for Ardha Matsyendrasana, the Lord of the half Lord of the Fishes. Use your elbow just to capture your knee. I'll turn to the side here. Capture the knee, give it a nice little hug. So you can pull the foot in and the outer ankle is touching your left thigh. Then from there, it may feel good to transition so that you have your, instead of hugging, you have your elbow on the outside. You may be able to reach for your knee or bend at the elbow. And now turn. So this activates deep muscles in the shoulder blade. You don't want your knee just pushing on your upper arm. You actually want your elbow pushing into your outer knee. At the same time, the upper back is moving in and you turn your gaze. You're looking right with the left eye. And you'll feel the breath. And you'll feel what's called the seer, the soul within. That there's someone looking out from inside. Now inhale back to center. You're going to untangle your legs and you can move right up into a kneeling position as we started. Now you'll sit your hips over to the right and maybe you feel this deep stretch. You're going to reach both hands over for your lower shin. So you get this good stretch in the side of the body and you'll drop your head down so it moves up into the side of the neck. Just drop the crown of your head down. Drop your outer right hip down. Don't worry if your left sit bone is not making contact with the floor, that's okay. Now inhale, lift up. And left foot's gonna cross over, right ankle. Turn to this, or right knee rather. Now you're just gonna use your elbow and give your body a hug here. You're pulling this in, hugging it in. And just get the twist moving deeply through the abdomen. You can even use your hand to push and drag to pull the tissue out of the way. This helps initiate the belly turn from deep within. Then, if that's right for you, you can bring the elbow to the outside, either in a bent position, or you can reach down for your knee or your foot. Now be sure that you're pressing this upper arm into the knee to activate that deep shoulder blade muscle. Move the upper back in, turn your gaze left. You're looking outward into the world from the right eye. Now inhale, slowly unwind yourself. And you're just gonna untangle the legs and lie on your back. We have a few minutes left before class is done. Hug your knees into chest. Reach for the feet, happy baby. Feet up and knees towards the armpits. Maybe knee towards the floor. You're gonna do one at a time. Now, deep breath in and exhale, lift your head. Balance on your lower ribs. Picturing the energy, the vitality of life moving into kidneys and adrenal glands. Now exhale, release, bring the soles of the feet together for Supta Baddha Konasana. Take the edges of the feet down, perhaps knees wide, And then a hand onto the heart, a hand into the lower belly, and close your eyes. Be patient as the breath settles. With every exhale, empty from the deepest part of you. What can we set aside so that something new can grow? What can we release? This is the gift of the lung energy, the lung pathways, and the healing points. And feel the warmth of the hands. And use your hands to slowly help your knees back together. Roll to your right side and place the center of the forehead down on your mat. Close your eyes and release mental activity. You can press to a seat for closing or stay as you are. May we connect to the deepest wisdom and intelligence and compassion that's within us, that's with all around us through this practice. May all beings benefit from this practice through our bodies and our minds and the expansiveness of our heart. May all beings be happy and free from suffering. May we learn to see the divine in all things, pure and impure, aware and unaware. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.